G'day guys, Ali from West Spray Airless. I'm just going to do a video and introduce you guys to Wagner's new CP or Control Pro 350 Extra sprayers. These are the new semi-professional handyman sprayer that's been designed to work with the HEA tips. So basically they've designed the machine to suit the new tips. Now obviously the advantage of the HEA tips, which I've made videos about and spoken about and sung all the praises regarding, the main advantage of them is they work at a very, very low pressure and they put out a super soft finish. And in return, Wagner/Titan have made this here machine, and it's also designed to work with those tips by working at a much slower pressure. They have a maximum operating pressure of 1500 psi, and to be honest, that's more than enough for what these tips are and what these tips do. Now, the two models are the one that you can see here on the box. This is I just assembled this one just to demonstrate it. This is the stand model or the skid model, and underneath it in the box is the cart or the highboy model. And the only difference between them really is the frame. So the one that's in the video right in the picture right now, that's the cart. Obviously it's a highboy, etc., and this is just a lowboy. And I think this one here is probably going to be the more popular one purely because of its size. It's easy to maneuver and do whatnot with it. Now I'll let you know about some of its features. Like I said, it works at a maximum of 1500 psi, so it can spray a maximum of 1.5 litres a minute. There is a cheaper version of this machine available at places like Bunnings, I think in the States or in North America, or I think it'll be similar to something available in Walmart or whatnot. And the difference between them visibly is that these have a black front and a yellow back, and the other ones are vice versa with the yellow front and a black back. The other ones also have a smaller motor or a shorter hose. They don't have a pressure gauge. They don't come with an extension, gun extension. They only have 2 tips rather than 3. So I did just mention some of those features. Now this hose here, it's a 15 meter hose, but it's exclusive to this machine. And what they've done, what Wagner or Titan have done, is they've made it that it's a 1/4 inch female on one end and a 1/4 inch male on the gun end. And on the standard airless sprayers, it's a 1/4 inch female on both ends. So if you wanted to swap that over, you actually could, but what you'd need to do is bypass this here gun. And this gun is also exclusive to this sprayer. It's very light, very easy to and it actually looks pretty funky, but it's definitely not in the higher end in terms of the quality of the build and whatnot. But for what the purpose is in terms of the machine's maximum pressure outage, it's more than enough. It's light, it's easy, it's relatively comfortable in the hand. It's not going to be like the Vector grip, which you can just see in the background there, but that's designed obviously for a full professional unit, unlike these ones. Now this gun also has an inline filter. So you've got the suction filter, which is on the inside. They don't have manifold filters, they don't really need them. And then they have just the inline filter. It comes with 3 filters and 3 tips. The tip sizes are a 311, a 515 and a 619. And accordingly they have the red, the yellow and the white filters to suit those tips. They also come with they also ship with a 30 centimeter extension pole and the HEA Tip Guard. Now this Tip Guard is exclusive to this particular type of HEA tip. It's not the standard HEA tip that comes separate with Wagner. It's exclusively designed to fit this guard for this machine. Like I said, they've tried to keep this machine separate than their 440s or their 3.21s, etc. Just so the people aren't, sort of mixing and matching and playing with them. This is just designed. Everything in this machine is designed to be around the 1500 psi range. The electric motor on this one is a 600 watts, so it's not overly big, and it doesn't need to be, purely because of the fact that we're only working to a maximum of 1000 psi, and these HEA tips, they work really well from anything from 800 to 1200 psi. So that's why Wagner/Titan were able to build this machine at a slightly lower output spec, because it doesn't need it, purely because of the tips it's designed to work with. The weight is less than 8 kilograms, which is fantastic. It comes with a 3+1 year warranty, and I'll just explain that. And that's for a handyman DIY use. A 3-year warranty covers all the mechanicals, but it doesn't cover the wear and tear parts, and you get an extra year warranty if you do the online registration. That way the machine is always registered to you. If someone was to steal it and try to get parts or whatnot, Wagner or/Titan wouldn't supply them with anything, purely based on the serial number and who the original owner is. For commercial applicators or for professional painters, it's got a 12-month warranty, and it's basically these machines are good for about 1,000 litres, and that includes the water and the paint going through it. And realistically, that's going to give you a range of 8 to 11 houses, depending on how much you actually spray in the house. The operation of this machine is pretty straightforward. Startup is just push the pusher valve, that's just to release the lower bore. Your on-off button is actually up here in the pressure gauge, so in a 0 everything's switched off. On the 1 it starts, and I think it starts at about 8 or 900 psi, and then as you turn it up in numbers, the intervals increase. Here is your prime spray valve. It's very simple, very standard, nothing fancy, and it just all works, which is really what everybody wants in a sprayer. They just want to be able to get to their machine, lift it up, use it, and everything's up and running. Alright, now I'll just give you some input on some of the things that I do like about these machines. I'll just come at it from a different angle too, so you can see it on the other side. I do love the weight. The weight of this unit, I mean the one underneath it is only a few kilograms heavier, but just the lightweight and the transportability of it. I mean, you can see it, it's all assembled right there, and it doesn't take up any, or it doesn't take up a it doesn't leave a big footprint. It's just everything's there all in one, easy to access. Now I'm just thinking of the situations where you're doing a multi-story home or 2 or 3 story home, and you just need to constantly go up and down. Well, with this machine, because of its size, it's really easy to do. It's nothing. It's 8 kilos in one hand, so you could basically grab that and a pail of paint in a bucket of paint in the other hand, and you're up and running. The hose, by the way, you can run a maximum of 2 lengths, so a maximum of 30 meters on this machine. I love the HEA tips. I think they are one of the best tips that have ever come out. In terms of standard acrylic paint or standard even oils, I think the HEA by far outdoes the previous yellow or red tips that Wagner and Titan had. They work beautifully at low pressures. They give a fantastic finish. I've done videos on these tips before, and I just can't sing their praises enough. The other real good thing about these sprays is because they're a single stroke piston, they're not a double stroke or a step piston. These don't need to be oiled. So starting it up is really a matter of just sticking it in some paint or some water or whatever it is you're using and starting it, and that's it. There's nothing to pre-lube or anything like that. Storage is obviously the same as the other ones if you can store it in pump armor, and that'll preserve the life of the pump, and that'll help it from, you know, the valves all sealing shut or getting watertight. Waterlocked, hydrolocked. Easy to clean. The size of it is fantastic. I mean, you know, if this was in paint, it would be simply a matter of pulling out the drain valve, pulling out the suction hose, pulling out the return hose, washing them out separately. That way you know that they're all clean, and then sticking it in some clean water, and all you have to do is pump out the line. Really easy to clean. I mean, and the fact that its size is so small and so light, it just, everything about it is a bonus. One of my favourite features is the fact that Wagner haven't changed the thread of this of the guard. So it's a standard G thread, which means realistically you can manipulate this machine to run Graco tips if you wanted to. So if you're doing a job where you've got walls and ceilings, and then you need to do some enamel, oil-based enamel for your trim, you could actually run your Graco FFLP, which in my opinion is the best enamel tip on the market. I know that the Wagner / Titan ones, the purple ones, are really good, but they have to work at a high pressure, unlike the Graco FFLPs. They work at a much lower pressure and they give a fantastic finish. Please, guys who are watching this video or have watched previous videos, understand that the HEA tip is not a fine finish tip. The way that the paint comes out of these tips is not the same as it does come out of a fine finish tip. So for all your enameling, definitely stick to the FFLPs and you shouldn't have any issues. And for any water-based or acrylics, these tips are more than enough. So this is a slight, or just a quick run view of this this new style of machine that Wagner have come out. And like I said, it's targeting the semi-professional handyman DIY bloke. It's a fantastic backup unit for its size and for its price. In Australia, the top one, or the stand model, retails for $9.95. And the cart model is $12.49. Now I know that in North America that's considered to be, you know, Titan up end pricing, but unfortunately in Australia our sprayers cost a lot more than that, and you know it's completely out of our control. But for what it is, fantastic unit. The warranty is outstanding for such a small unit, especially for something that's designed for the handyman semi-professional. And I can't sing the praises of this machine enough. I just think that they're a fantastic little unit that's been built purely around the HEA tip. And, you know, well done to Wagner / Titan for coming up with this idea. Now, if there is any videos or anything else that you guys would like me to review or comment on or explain to you, please by all means shoot me a message or leave a comment down below, and I'll definitely address those within my ability. But other than that, I'm Ali from West Spray Airless. I hope this video is of help to you, and I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Take care.